Welcome to the Channel Gaming Army. This video finds us in our Hunchback. It is the Hunchback Gridiron outfitted with 2 Gauss rifles. The first of 2 drops finds us playing skirmish mode on Caustic Valley, and we are charging right into the action as the enemy team looks like they wanted to push us head on. So both teams have met each other in a knockdown drag-out tussle at Delta 6. So you can see that ridgeline in front of me is a target-rich environment with stalkers and blood asps and lions and tigers and bears, oh my. And our friend the blood asp looks like he wants to come out a little further to the right, which means I am going to mirror his movements by moving out to the right also. This will hold down the right flank for my team and hopefully deny the enemy from getting this angle on my teammates. So I'm going to push up the hill and not only hold this right flank, but hopefully get a good firing position on the enemy units. And that I do. Turns out he didn't push as far to the right as I thought he was going to, which is okay. And there he is below me. Now we can just rain shots on him all day long. The enemy awesome below me is a juicy target with an open CT. Now he's open left torso, right torso, and it looks like he is under an immense amount of pressure. He probably won't last too much longer. He's getting focused from my teammates as well. In the meantime, he's getting suppression support fire from the stalker. Now, I don't think the enemy stalker has a full lock on me, as I'm able to step back and forth and dodge those incoming missiles. And that's okay that he's shooting at me, because while he's looking my way, he's presenting a very wide side torso profile to my teammates for them to shoot. Now, there's plenty of targets still down in this area, including a Warhammer, and there's a Timberwolf that's starting to push in on the opposite hillside. But we're slowly starting to push them back and clean out the enemy mechs in this area. And now we have a firm handle on the situation. Their push has been turned back. My stalker friend is still hanging on, but we take the kill on the stalker, finishing him off, and the score has quickly rocketed up 6-1. So at this point, I do want to relocate. I'm checking my ammo bins. They're looking a little bit on the light side, so I have to pick and choose my next shots carefully to maximize damage. I just burned through a lot of ammo because that was such a great position and a very target-rich environment that I was in. Now, coming around the corner, I managed to find an Arctic Wolf, and he's pretty deadly with 4 SRM-6s, and he's in pretty good shape, and we will expend the last of our ammo on him. I call out his position to my teammates. Now, with no ammo left, there is absolutely nothing else for me to do in this drop, so I am going to run to Echo 3, hide there for the remainder of the match, because the most important thing a pilot can do in this situation is preserve their kill-death ratio.
New target acquired.
Do you guys believe any of what I just said? I'm absolutely not going to do that, not with 2 targets in front of me. So I mark the Dragon and the Marauder. A teammate takes out the Marauder. I'm faced with the Dragon, and I'm just going to hold his attention while the rest of my teammates swarm him over. Hopefully they can take him out before he punches through my center torso. On the other side of the board, they've managed to get a kill on the Arctic Wolf, and that brings this drop to a close. Switching over to our end screen, we wind up with 2 kills, 7 assists, 585 damage done. Moving on to our next drop, this one's got us playing Domination on Polar Highlands. And as the action on this drop unfolds, let's go back for a second and talk about the statement I made at the end of the first drop. Hopefully none of you guys were gullible enough to believe what I said about running away to hide and trying to preserve my kill-death ratio, because none of that really means anything to me. But I guess the real point that I was trying to get at, the point I want to make, is that you too will find yourself in that exact same situation at some point in your careers. Now, whether it's caused because you're trying out a build and you're a little light on the amount of ammunition you can carry, or you might get into a situation where ammo bins are destroyed by enemy fire, the point is you're going to be in that situation. The question is, what will you do when you get into that situation? I would urge you to remain an active participant in the current drop. And the first step that you'll want to take is to assess your mech and your situation. What do you have left in the way of mech resources? For example, do you have any consumables left? Are you able to put up an impactful UAV on an enemy position? Do you have any airstrikes or artillery strikes left that you could drop on the enemy's heads? Those types of things will be impactful. You can do something as simple as hitting your R key and locking up marking enemy units for your teammates. You can do something as simple as just spotting enemy strong points, calling out the positions and the direction and movement of enemy units. Never underestimate the power of good intel on the battlefield. Now, some of you watching this are true steely-eyed missile men and want to take a more active approach. And I would say to you, can you put yourself out there in harm's way and bait shots from enemy units? Because what that's going to do is drive up their heat scale, possibly even using up some of their precious ammunition in the process. So that's another thing that you can do to help out and remain active. And taking that one step further, would you put yourself in harm's way to block shots on friendly units? If you can tank shots for your team, that will preserve their mechs to carry on the fight. What about using your mech as a roadblock, keeping the enemy from pulling back into cover, forcing him to stand out in the open and just eat all of your team's damage? That is incredibly impactful on the battlefield. You can even do what I demonstrated in the first video and just be a distraction. And while you're being focused, that's giving your team the time they need to get into position and swarm the enemy unit, or at least focus fire him and take him out of the game. And last but not least, depending on what game mode you're in, there could be opportunities for you to capture the enemy base or take over cap points, or at the very least in a domination match is to hold on to the clock timer for your side. My hopes are that if you ever find yourself in the situation where you are out of ammunition, you remember this video and some of the points that we talked about before you just give up and or throw in the towel. There's always more that you can do. Now, jumping back to the action in this particular drop, my team is up on kills, so we do have a slight advantage over the enemy, and I have enjoyed playing this particular loadout because it allows me to throw out 20 points of damage at over 800 meters with a very fast recycle time, which is good. However, I haven't really had a whole lot of shot discipline in this particular drop, and I'm trying to land shots on fast-moving targets, especially at range, which is probably not the smartest thing I've ever tried to do. But now that they've moved in closer, like this hell spawn, it makes it a lot easier for me to focus them. And if they give me their backs, it's even easier to focus them. I just need to pay attention to my ammo bins, which are very quickly approaching zero, so this is not going to be good. However, the adder on the far side deserves a round, and I believe I swept his right leg, and that will make him easy pickings for my teammates. And here is a nice fat, slow, juicy moving target. We'll get a couple of shots on him until our ammo is out, and now it is time to go run and hide. No. no way we're going to do that. This ECM Timberwolf presents us the opportunity not only to get a lock on him for my teammates, but we were able to bait a lot of heat out of his mech. He overheats, shuts down, and is punished for that. And I'm holding his attention. He's so focused on getting the kill on me that it's allowing my teammates to move in and focus him down. With him off the board, it's just a question of hunting down the last enemy unit, and my teammates quickly get the kill on him as well. So switching over to our end screen on this one, we didn't get any kills, but we did have 9 assists and 545 damage done.